Hari Om Namaskar to all of you. Rupa Kavita Yabaluri. My pronunciation may not be right, so excuse me for that. You always emphasize that communication is the very foundation of any relationship, a living bridge between two hearts. But Guruji, what happens when this bridge is only built from one side? How can communication continue when the other person chooses silence, remains unresponsive, and keeps the channel closed? True communication needs mutuality. It needs both to participate with honesty and impartiality. If one speaks with sincerity and the other responds with partiality or avoidance, even that becomes unhealthy, isn't it, Guruji? Eventually, the one who genuinely wishes for a balanced, subtle, and healing conversation grows quiet too. Not out of peace, but out of exhaustion. Their thoughts, emotions retreat inward because they no longer find space to be heard. Guruji, how does one understand this web? How does one navigate a relationship where communication becomes one-sided, silence becomes the dominant answer? Oh, Kavita, Kavita, Kavita. You always emphasize that communication is the very foundation of any relationship, a living bridge between the two hearts. Yes, you are perfectly right. As far as this is concerned, there is no doubt about it. Yes, living bridge between the two hearts. Now, communication means, is it verbal? Now you should think about it. Do you mean verbal communication, or you can still communicate, each other can communicate through many methods? Okay. If you are expecting only a verbal communication between the two hearts, it is not going to happen. First, is it the heart that is expecting this, or is it the mind that is expecting this particular question? Is it the mind of Kavita which is asking this question? Or is it the heart that feels this? Heart is not going to feel this. Absolutely. It is the mind. So, somewhere you are inspecting and somewhere you are expecting. When you inspect and expect, that is not going to happen. And love is something which is the basis of any relationship. Okay. It's more the love. When it is love, please remember, love is just acceptance of the partner or anybody at the other end for whatever they are, however they are. When you love that person, you love that person totally. Whether that person responds, whether that person doesn't respond, that is not going to be an aspect. As far as you are concerned, you are loving the person. If you are expecting a reciprocation in the form of verbal communication from that person, then it is not love. It is more a sort of expectation involved some sort of possessiveness or some sort of a feeling where you want some company from somebody because you are trying to fill the void. There is a void inside you and you are trying to fill that void with something else. That is not love. Then it means the love is absent. When I mean communication, I am not meaning verbal communication. If you have thought that it is a verbal communication, then you are wrong. Of course, If there is a verbal communication, incidentally, between two loving partners, yes, that is also good. I don't say, but that is not demanded in the first place. If it falls, it falls. If it doesn't fall, it doesn't fall. But if verbal communication is going to be taken as the basic necessity for a relationship to survive, then that relationship may not survive in such circumstances which you have mentioned. What happens when this bridge is only built from one side? I have already replied. The bridge is built from one side, whether it is built from one side or two sides or both the sides or many sides. Please remember, that doesn't have any value as long as the expectation from the other partner also is there. From your viewpoint, that person should also walk the equal distance. There is nothing like I walk 50%, you walk 50%, we meet somewhere in the middle of the bridge. Try to understand love. Love is more the feeling what you get in the heart. Incidentally, when you get it in the heart, you share it. Love is also let go. So, it may be an aspect of let go also. The other person may not be responding, still he may be loving you or she may be loving you. And there may be a let go. When the let go is not there, it is simply clinging on to a relationship because of possessiveness, because of greed, because of various other factors. So that cannot be called as love. In such case, the other person may be unresponsive and that may not be taken in a light sense. How can communication continue when the other person chooses silence? Do you mean to say that somebody is silent means he or she doesn't love you? I think there is something grossly wrong with your thinking, because these questions are being raised from the mind. Heart never doubts, mind always doubts. Heart doesn't have an element of suspicion, but mind will have an element of suspicion. Heart doesn't have an agenda. Mind will always have an agenda. Mind has a goal, but heart doesn't have a goal. Love doesn't have a goal. So love is a subject matter of the heart, and love is not a subject matter of the mind, which first all of us should understand. That understanding, deep understanding, comes when heart is full. That deep understanding doesn't come because mind is never full. It needs both to participate with honesty and impartiality. What do you mean by honesty in love? What do you call as honesty in love? When the other person is not at all in expectation, when the other person loves so strongly, where is the question of honesty? Just because the person is not expressive, does it mean that X or Y is not honest in his or her feelings? If one speaks with sincerity and other responds with partiality or avoidance, even that becomes unhealthy, isn't it, Guruji? These are all questions of the mind. Yes, mind analyzes the act of love. When mind analyzes the act of love, it wants a logical answer. Love does not have any logical answer. Love is magic and not logic. That is why we say love is basically close or closest to the heart. Love is never close to the mind. Love cannot be an ingredient of the mind. When mind comes, please remember, any sort of love drops. So unhealthy, all these things, what you are asking, is all from the mind. When you love the person for what he is or what she is, you do not expect any response from that person. The love must be to that extent, where you love the person only for the person's sake. He may be or she may be responsive or not responsive. You may give a message, she may give a message, or he may give a message. Whether the message comes or not, whether the talk is there or not, love should exist. That love is a divine love. Love never expects. Mind expects. Eventually, the one who genuinely wishes for a balanced, subtle, healing conversation grows quiet too. It is all the malady of expectation. That is why all these things are said, not out of peace, but out of exhaustion. Because here, a lot of expectation is there. That is why one feels exhausted. In love, expectation will not be there, and hence there will be no exhaustion. Please remember this. Their thoughts and emotions retreat inward because they no longer find a place to be heard. To be heard. This is all mind, dear. Please remember, in any relationship, I used to say, it is something like two circles bisecting each other. There is a common area which is shared. You know how the relationship survives? The relationship will survive not because of the common area between two loving souls. The relationship survives when one doesn't interfere in the uncommon area. Please remember this. The relationship does not survive because of the common area which they share. The relationship survives due to non-interference into the uncommon area, because there is always a biological difference in the system of nature between one person and the other. That is why we don't look like each other, we don't talk like each other, we don't express like each other. We are different, or we are more unique that way. So uniqueness should lead to not comparing the uncommon area and only being in bliss with the common area. Guruji, how does one understand this web? That is what I said. How does one navigate a relationship where communication becomes one-sided and silence becomes the dominant answer? Of course, if verbal communication is expected, then the relationship is not going to survive. It will not survive. It will drop at some point of time when expectations enter the mind of the other person also, or other groups also. But how many of our youngsters understand real love? Love is to live without expectation. Love is just love. It is a huge reservoir where if possessiveness creeps in, it is not love. You can be possessive of your car, you can be possessive of your house, you can be possessive of your computer, you can be possessive of the beautiful Mont Blanc pen, you may be possessive of any materialistic thing, but you cannot be possessive of an organic thing like a human being. A human being can only be loved. If you are possessive of a human being, that is disaster. That will finally kill any good relationship. So you must be able to differentiate between love and possessiveness. Love is to let go. Possessiveness doesn't let go, it clings on. And that is the biggest malady. If you want to hear the melody, you may have to move from possessiveness to love, where love becomes ultimately sacrifice. See, abroad you can find certain things very good with foreigners, which unfortunately we Indians have not been trained with. When a divorce happens, yes, she may have 2 kids. On a Saturday or a Sunday, he will come to pick up his kids and take them for a round or to talk with them or go to some restaurant. After all, he is the biological father and she is the biological mother. Okay. In fact, she will herself come and send him out. Hey Tom, take care of the kids properly. Okay. I'm going out with John for these 2 days. She will inform. There is another living partner for her today. She will say, I'm going out for these 2 days. Okay. Since you are being with the kids. Thank you very much for giving my space and time. See this. We can never think of that situation in the East. But in the West it is very common. Very common. Very, very common. Jokingly I used to say, it's a joke. Don't take it seriously. On the Father's Day, the kids will ask whether we have to greet Tom or John. Very nice. Okay. Next is Sushma Kunduri says, when how to talk to the present generation is definitely an art to learn. We need to consciously practice it. Yes, Sushma, you have to practice it. Lakshmi Suresh says, so much to learn and so much to wind ourselves. I disagree with you. Unwind yourself, Lakshmi. You have to unwind, not wind. Already you are winded. You have to unwind. Yes, that's a good comment. Next we go to Padma Duburi. She says, great reminder, Guruji, that we are not the doers. It becomes difficult and always falls in the illusion and make things more harder for ourselves rather than leaving things to the universe. Yes, Padma, that is a good right thinking. You have started thinking, so someday you will be putting that into practice. Then we have Mandakini Devulapalli. She says, your voice seems so nice even though it sounds like you have cold, especially your roaring laughter. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm a sinus patient most of the time. Sometimes we feel like, sometimes as prayogis we have to talk through nose. Sometimes I have to talk through mouth. Sometimes Shabda has to come from throat. Sometimes it has to come from stomach. Because these voice modulations will make the Akshara better and fall in its place. So what for I give these lectures? Do you think this is Prayoga for us? This is Prayoga for us. Not the normal discourse giving to you. So naturally as Prayogis, there will be a lot of modulations. Thank you very much. You seem to observe things much better. Parvati Susarla says, Hari Om Namaskaram Guruji. Guru is zero and that can fit into anything and completes and transforms the thing as a whole. Thank you. Yes, Guru is always zero. Sishya becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Forgets the Guru. Then when it comes to 9, he needs the Guru. So once again, he becomes a disciple 1 and Guru comes and adds. It started with 0, then 1 and now Guru is giving prominence to the Sishya. He is 1 and he supports with 0, value addition. Then once again he goes up in ego. He becomes 2. Still Guru is the same, 0. He sits. That's why I used to say, Parvati, I am like Secunderabad railway station. Those days I had 2 platforms. Today I have 15 or 20 platforms. I have not moved away from that place. I am always there. But you people, one day you stayed near to Secunderabad railway station. You were somewhere in Regimental Bazaar. Now today you are in Yesrao Nagar. You are in Old City. You are in New City, High-Tech City. You have distanced yourself. I have not distanced. I am very much there to receive you. It is the same station. Next, let me see, is there anybody else who has commented? I can give you some sort of a reply to your question. I am just searching. I don't think there is anything more, nothing else. Yes. Love the relationship of Guru Sishya Master Neeraja Kurudi. Thank you very much, Neeru. And then we go ahead and see Venkatrao says, Subbarao, humble pranams. Your every video on every subject is much revealing and eye-opener for most of us. I don't want this eye-opener. It should be this eye-opener from the Stamba. The Nrsimha should come out. The Stamba is the ego of Hiranyakashipu. And the true self of Nrsimha came out of it. That should be an eye-opener for that. Then Shravantiyam Konduri. She says, thanks for the message and reminder. Parents are born a few years earlier than kids. Because of that, they feel wiser, say things to them, and when it comes back as a mirror, the ego flares up. I feel it's the helplessness of the parents to not able to accept their mistakes. Kids teach us a lot if only we can let them blossom instead of comparing, competing, conditioning. Everyone will be better off. You invariably get pushed into the race. I hope it all changes for better. My kids taught me a lot. I am still learning from them. Only your grace. We can try to be alert and imbibe what you advise us. Beautiful, Shravanti. Beautiful. In fact, I like this particular. That is exactly, say something to them and when it comes back as a mirror, the ego flares up. Who are you to say? Even a kid, suppose it says, this is not okay. We are not prepared to accept. You are a kid, what you know. Why? The kid knows in fact better. Kid is more conscious. Over a period of time, through some nonsense called conditioning. I don't say conditioning is bad. But at what point of time you do is very important. And when it comes back to you, you are not able to give. Because nowadays kids want a logical explanation for everything. Reasoning for everything. Okay. You are not able to reason out. Because you know that in life everything cannot be reasoned out. Did you prepare the kid accordingly? No. At every point of time, only one thing came to your mind, kids' survival. In this competitive world, every parent thinks only about the kids' survival, not about anything else. But how do you want the kid to survive? You want only materialistically to survive? You don't want it to spiritualistically survive? Spiritually survive? Have you coached the kid right from the beginning the right way? No. Even our elders have committed mistakes. Have you learned from it? My mother committed mistake. My father committed mistake. I won't repeat that mistake with my kids. Did you take that oath? Did you bring that kid wherever your parents had gone wrong? When you were conditioned to and brought up, you knew that at that time you did not react, but your kids will react. That is the present day generation. Did you keep that in mind? And did you correct the kids as you came across? All these things do matter. Our parents were very beautiful when they brought us up. They gave us some very good things. But today, can those things be applied? Did you bring that into consideration when you brought up the kids? Or you blindly trained them in the practices? Your kids are looking at you as you grow. They are observing you. Like you are looking at the kids, as they grow, the kids also look at you. What you are doing. Are you doing things the way you are conditioning them? They are looking at you. Did you? No. Because verbally only you were saying so many things. Great saints told so many things. But verbally only you are following it. But are you practically implementing what the saints told? No. The saints said, don't see differences. Take everything, vasudhaiva kudumbakam. That concept of entire world is my family. That brotherhood, that sisterhood, that concept, was it there? Don't you feel jealousy at some point of time, and you exhibited that jealousy by making some statement? Your kids are observing it. Your kids felt greed in you. Your kids felt somewhere you were very possessive. How will they adopt whatever you say? Once again I say, you and me is only for conversation purpose, to make it more interesting, to make it more understandable. I am saying, I don't mean you, or I don't mean me, only for conversation purpose. This is applicable to everybody and anybody, including me. So, fine. The kids, how they are born. They look at you, their observation power is much better. When you ask them to follow something, they look at you whether you are following it or not. Today you can't say, this is applicable only to you, not applicable to me. Then they feel you are one-sided, and they are not going to follow what you are saying. They are going to be rebellious. First, every parent, what they say, they must implement in life. Then the kids will gladly follow. If not follow, at least they will keep it in somewhere in one corner of the mind or one corner of the heart. When the time comes, they would like to implement it. Please remember, correct the faults. Don't think you are elder. You are never subjected to any mistake when it comes to your kid. You also are likely to commit mistake. Wholeheartedly accept it. Then you will see the kids will walk the way you say, because they have total faith. That faith is absent most of the time, and hence they do not follow. Only your grace we can try to be alert and imbibe. Yes, my grace is always there. Let Bhagavan be with you. My dear friend Peter D. Ritter says, Namaskaram Guruji, let me melt down to zero. Life survival sometimes creates a minimum of 3-4 on the scale of ego strength. Challenges push ego, survival of the fittest. Perhaps a 0 is the fittest. That may take personal dissolution of the ego, sometimes a scary thought other than bliss. How does a 0 survive, your gaze? Masters have been zeros. They have always survived, Peter, and you will also survive, because in 0 there is no expectation at all. Yes, but 0 is value addition. Okay. A master hence is always a value addition. Incidentally, he is a 0. He is 0, 0, 0. Probably in materialistic terms, in mathematical terms, it doesn't have value. But in spiritual terms, it has value addition. What doesn't have value has value addition. See the beauty of nature. What doesn't intrinsically have value has value addition. How beautiful it is. Peter, I appreciate your ways. I appreciate whatever you have said. What you say, it is 100% true. I can understand the turmoils of survival, not that. But 0 will also teach how to survive without ego. Ego is not the only component that is going to help us to survive. Even egoless being, you can survive. It is not difficult. Unfortunately, ego compares. And ego always wants comparison, comparison, comparison. He is better than me, so I have to be better than him. So I have to exhibit my ego. He has exhibited his ego. That is why he is able to survive. That is not the way. Okay. Ego spoils good work. If you are egoless, you can do much better work. That is the truth. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Bye.